Hi everyone, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a rumour has it video where we talk about players linked to the football club this coming transfer window in the summer. This summer's going to be a massive window for Newcastle United. We know we're hampered by FFP and PSR, but there's a lot of money coming to the club with the two big sponsorship deals with Saya and Adidas coming in. And also, I think there's going to be a few bits of deadwood sent adrift this summer to free up some of the money to buy in some better quality players. And we need better quality players, there's no doubt about that. So we're going to get stuck right into this player. Speaking of better quality player, my God, this kid is definitely one of those. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute. Before we do, a little reminder, if you haven't already, smash subscribe. I'd love you to come and join us. We're over 7,300 subs, closing on 7,400. Loads of room for you, never more, all free content. If you want to give a little back to the channel, there is a membership option down there too. But just recommend us to family and friends. Check us out. All the stats and chats you need, certainly when Newcastle United target. So smash that button, guys. Who am I talking about today? Well, I'm talking about a player I'm very, very excited about. Now, I'm very cautious about this because I was very excited about James Maddison previous summer. That didn't happen, and he went to Spurs. But this kid is a fantastic footballer. And from everything that I'm hearing and seeing and reading, this is a player that Newcastle United have been after or interested in ever since the takeover happened. And to me, that tells me he's a long-term target. And looking at what the value would be and the realistic opportunity to get in the guy this summer, I'm starting to believe, allowing myself to believe that these stories may actually have a fair bit of truth in them. So who am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this lad right here. And that is Federico Chiesa of Juventus, Italian international. Unbelievable player, this lad is. He's absolutely brilliant. He blew away everybody at the European Championships, the last European Championships, before the ones this summer in 2020. Starring for Italy, was absolutely sensational in that tournament. And everyone really stood up and took notice of the guy. Previously, he was at Fiorentina before he went to Juventus, but he was absolutely brilliant in that tournament. In terms of him as a player, he's got the lot. He's quick. He's got a trick. He's strong. He can fly into tackles as well. He can track back and win the ball back. He's very much an Eddie Howe type of player as well, I think, in terms of he never stops running. He's got a great engine on him, but he's got that quality that we need in the final third. He's the kind of player I would call a game-changing player, the kind of player we lacked in the Champions League this season when we just didn't quite have the quality on the pitch to see those games out. Yes, we had Bruno, but Isak was injured for large parts of it. If you had a player of this quality and a player who's capable of just grabbing it by the nuts and doing something with it, Chiesa is exactly that type of player for me. So I'm really excited about these links, and I think Newcastle should just do everything they can to make this happen. But talking about in terms of the transfer fee and everything else, you can see there his contract runs out in June next year. So in terms of the value of him, you're looking between 35 and 40 million quid. Now, as the story goes, and this is reported in is it Corriere dello in Italy, that Newcastle are now front runners apparently ahead of Barcelona of all things in getting Chiesa. Now, there is a possibility that Chiesa may decide to stay with Juventus this summer. You don't know. He's been in Serie A obviously all his career. 26 years old, he's at the peak of his power. So if he ever really want to test himself in the Premier League, the time is probably now where he's going to be able to give the Premier League his best. So that'll be a very interesting thing to look at. And with this project and the way it's going and the exciting young players that are in and around it as well. Sandro Tonali's there as well, an Italian teammate. So maybe that could sway him as well. I think this kind of signing would be good for Tonali as well. Personally, having another Italian international there with him could maybe get the best out of Tonali as well. But this will be a really interesting crossroads for Chiesa in the summer. He's kind of, I say he's gone off the boil for Juventus a little bit from what he was. He went off the boil. He had a really bad injury back in 2022, I think it was. I'm just checking it here. So yeah, back in January 2022, he had a horrendous cruciate ligament tear, and it kept him out for pretty much an entire year. He missed 45 games combined for Juventus in Italy. So since then, he's not been missing a lot of games. He's had little muscle fatigues and knee niggles and just the usual type of a thing. So he's not a huge injury risk as a player. Some people are saying he's gone off the boil, but for me, this lad is a way cut above of anything else we really have in that final third. And I think if we got him, I think he would just blow us all away. I really do. Like I say, he's quick, he's skillful, he's clinical as well. His vision of passing is brilliant. His shooting is fantastic. He's capable of getting goals, cutting inside, either setting up goals for the centre forward, like he's been doing for Vlahovic. What he could do for Isak, my word, it could be another outlet for him as well. And he can score goals himself. As you can see there, this season, 28 appearances, 7 goals and 1 assist. So still fairly decent stats for the guy there as well. Looking through the kind of red, amber, greens, his goals are a little bit lower for players in his position. So he hasn't got as many goals this season as he had previous. Shots are decent enough. He's in the 60s. Assists are a little bit lower, 49. But his expected assists is way higher, as is his shot creation chances. His key passes is right up there, really high, touches as well, touches in the area a little bit low. He kind of releases it out to a winger rather than getting himself in the box as much as he previously has. But progressive carries are massive, carries into the area and successful take-ons as well. This guy can skin a player and he can make something happen. Mark's put the grid on the side there in terms of where he sits against Miggy Almiron. You can see he eclipsed Miggy on pretty much everything. Now, these are Miggy's stats from this season, which have been nowhere near as good as Miggy's stats from last season. But that was a purple patch for Miggy Almiron. He was not that type of a player in pretty much every other season bar last season. So I don't think you should use that as that's Miggy's normal season. We had a couple of people come at us about this on social media already, and somebody had said that Federico Chiesa is a left winger. Now he plays left wing for Juventus, right? But here's just something, a little bit of food of thought for you. So in all of his appearances, so in his Serie A appearances, which is over 300 games, Federico Chiesa has played right wing 92 times. That's a combination between Juventus and Fiorentina. He's got 32 goals and 13 assists from that right wing position. He's also played right midfield 37 times, 9 goals and 8 assists. And he's also played through the middle 24 times with 4 goals and 5 assists. This lad can play anywhere across the front three. You don't need to pigeonhole him to left wing or right wing or anything like that. He is fucking quality. And for me, this is an absolute no-brainer in my opinion. If this can be done by Newcastle United, you're talking about 35 to 40 million quid for an absolutely sensational footballer who's at the peak of his powers, really 26 years old. Is he better than what we've got in terms of up there? You'd probably say yes, he is. Fit, firing, raring to go. He is better than what we have. Yes, Gordon is brilliant. He's a starter, no doubt. Barnes has obviously had an injury hit season, but he has got quality. Isak is the player through the middle. If we go and get something like Sesko, it could be an alternative to Isak. But you're looking outside of that. Jacob Murphy, hard-working player, but he isn't quality. Miggy Almiron, hard-working player, but he isn't quality. Minter's coming back from loan. He's a young lad. If Miggy is to be shoved out the door, which I think you will do to raise capital, you're left with Jacob Murphy and maybe Minter as a 18, 19-year-old. Chiesa, to me, if he's available for 35, 40 million quid, and you can sell Almiron and Wilson and get money in for those players, to me, this is a no-brainer. Newcastle should make this happen, and I really hope they push the button and get this done. If they can get their business done early, if they can tie up Sesko and tie up Chiesa, that's 2 massive game-changing quality players coming to the squad for next season. If it's got Europa Cup football as well, or Europa League football, these 2 players could really give us a strength in possibly even winning those competitions. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below about Chiesa. Are you happy with it? Do you think we shouldn't bother? Should we look elsewhere? Loads of other names linked. We're going to be covering loads of transfers. We've got Gibbs White, Branthwaite, Marcus Guy at Palace. Got loads of players to cover, and the summer's not even started yet. You wait until we get into that summer period. Me and Mark will be on every other day doing a Rumour Has It video. But that's me done for this one. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I always like to hear from you. Smash a like on the video too. Help the channel grow. If you want to subscribe, help us get to 7,400. You can just smash that button. All free, but if you want to be a member, there is an option there too. Click whichever one suits you best, guys. Have a cracking day. We'll be back with some more Rumour Has It soon. See you later. Cheers.